there's times I wake up in the middle of the night and I have a punchline and I just like type it down and then I go back to sleep. I do that. I'm like, I don't want to lose this. Like, come on, Sakshi, you can do better. You want to do it, zero excuses. All it requires is your time, dedication, like your skill, what you want to put out there.
Welcome to She Ready, a show about innovators and curators and the stories behind their movements. We also discuss notions and emotions behind social issues, dish on our latest dating adventures, and talk about personal development. Hashtag self-care. I am Amalika, your host, and today we are talking to Sakshi Shivdasani. She's a content creator who currently has a follower base of 154k on Instagram. She's collaborated with brands like Amazon Prime Video, Bumble, and Maybelline so far. In this episode, we discuss her career as a content creator, dealing with online trolls, and dating apps. Let's get into it. So Sakshi, you started off your career as a model, but now you've dipped your toes into content creation. How did this happen?
Do you know how like Gigi Hadid and all, like they have like an influencer base, but they're like models.
Yeah.
And that was always like I wanted a strong social media presence, and modeling seemed to be the way to go with it. I'd been doing modeling in college just for fun, and like I'd done a couple of ads, and I was like, okay, no, I really want to invest a couple of years in modeling. And that's how I started modeling. And then I don't know, I started doing this silly thing where I was just like captioning my like photos and expressions to make memes out of myself. And then I started posting like memes on Instagram, and that gained a little bit of traction. And then actually I went for the Supermodel of the Year on MTV. I auditioned that, I got, and I was like, okay, perfect. This is gonna be like my big break. I'm gonna go on there. I'm gonna get my social media presence. I go on the show, didn't have a very good experience, didn't gain any clout from the show. And I was so turned off from modeling because of that entire experience. I was like, okay, no, I need to be able to work for myself. I need to be in charge of how I'm being portrayed online or on a platform. I got in touch with a few agencies. I was like lucky enough to like be able to set up some meetings, and they told me to just start TikTok actually. And in the beginning of lockdown, I was just I was doing like 20 TikToks a day.
That's a
just
lot.
posting it for 0 followers. Okay. And then I was like, and my Instagram was stagnant. I was like stuck at 18,000 followers or something for the longest time. And then I just started posting one of my TikToks a day from TikTok onto Instagram. And then like I started gaining traction on Instagram. And then I just really like the freedom of being able to like work for myself, I guess. And now I genuinely don't think I don't know how it'll be once things open up, but I'm very happy transitioning out of modeling now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how it's
So
like.
you said you actually started on TikTok, but then you put a video on Instagram. Why did you do that? Because agencies had told you just do stuff on TikTok.
Yeah, so what I realized was TikTok was all fun and all of that, and there was a demographic, there was a crowd that started gaining traction. But then I was like, Instagram is just nothing is happening. Let me just like put something out there, and like, what's the worst that will happen? I wasn't like there was nothing to lose really, and I actually started like I used to not use my voice in videos at all.
Okay.
And then people just started getting so annoyed. It just got so funny for me. So then I started doing that on Instagram, and I genuinely loved ranting because I have nothing important to say. Like, yeah, I'll post that on Instagram and see where it goes. And people started liking it. So I was just like, okay, I'll continue on to that. So
yeah. Take me through your creative process of actually creating this content. How do you do it?
When I first started on TikTok, I used to use like the popular sounds and take my iterations of that. But on Instagram, that's not a thing, right? Like even on Reels, there's no popular sounds, and now I don't even use sounds that much. Sometimes I have like a punchline, okay, and then I need to work backward and make a joke just because you know that you can say that punchline so funnily. It's just my friends and I will be sitting and we just be laughing like to ourselves about something dumb that we say, and I was just like, I guess other people might like that also. So get the punchline and then I actually work backward. Like, so that's how I do it. I sometimes I have the punchline and I'm like, I know what the joke is, but I'll be like asking people, like, just give me a premise, and they'll be like, we don't understand what you're doing. And I'm like, no, no, trust me on this. This is a great one. And everyone's just like, this makes no sense, Sakshi. Please stop. But yeah, in my brain, it makes sense. Like I'd go around passing comments about things, right? Anything's happening, Sakshi needs to have a say in it. So that's how it started. And then I just started making the situations as like a joke. And I do like short content, right? So I don't really need to do an entire setup. It just has to be premise and punchline. So
Yeah. Did you consciously decide to do this short form content?
yes, basically that I've always been a huge fan of Vine style content.
Yeah.
It's like in and out, right? Like
Yeah.
it should look like, oh, I just put on my camera, and that's like my entire vibe also with the messy. And I'll just say it and then I'll bounce, right? And I feel like a long form content also takes a lot of, if you're editing an entire, like I'm doing YouTube also, but I'm like way more consistent with my Instagram because it's shorter, right?
Yeah.
And I just don't have the patience to like the entire thing. I'm more like, okay, just let's roll it out is my
Yeah.
entire, put out like five things, like, or record five things, then like wait for an entire week, which is like just a personal preference thing. I'm very spacey. I'm always like trying to do things. I'm just like, no, no, just short form works for me so far. I'm shy. Like, I don't know. It doesn't come across like that on camera, but I'll say the joke and I'll leave. I don't need to explain anything. Like, I don't need to put myself out there except in the way that I want to. So yeah, that short form works much better. Like, I feel like long form requires that sort of vulnerability, I guess, which is just like not something I was ready for when I started. Maybe like as I am getting more comfortable, I've been doing Instagram lives, I'm doing this podcast now.
Yeah.
I'm also going to start doing YouTube, but I just feel like I'm such a boring person who wants to watch 10 minutes of me. Like 15 seconds, I feel like is more than enough. Like on a good day.
I do find your content very raw. There's not too much fancy editing, there are no extra sounds. You're in this sweatshirt and messy bun with just doing your thing. So I think that is also vulnerable till an extent. You're not putting on this huge show off.
The looks aspect of it, that was never something that I was conscious of. My shyness basically came from like getting to know, like people getting to know me thing. So the vulnerability in terms of appearance never really bothered me, because even comments about my appearance don't bother me because that is not something that I control. The aspects of me that I can't control, like my looks or my hair, my voice for that matter, I'm okay with people coming at me for. But like my personality, I just take so much. Your personality is something you build from your experiences, your life. You make conscious decisions not to be a particular type of person. So I don't want to put myself out there in such a raw way, and then people are like, oh, but her personality is trash. Like, then I'll be like, ouch. Like that hurt me. Like the other comments don't really bother me, but the personality, at one point I thought it would bother me. Now I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's whatever.
Yeah. So, the way with which you've been able to find your voice, do you have any suggestions for other upcoming content creators on how to curate content that speaks a lot about them?
So my main advice to everyone is, I feel like the people that want to get into content creation or put themselves out there in the way are more scared about what people will think. It is an aspect,
Yeah.
like you, like your social circle, people that know you but like only sort of will be like, what the hell is she doing? And that happened with me also, right? But it's like you want it bad enough and you are able to get over that initial, like what your social circle may people are going to say, then a stranger from like another city saying something about you will not matter. You just have to push past the first weeks of people judging you, and then
Yeah.
you're you know what, everyone's like, oh, what is she doing, what is she doing? And then once you make it, they be like, oh dude, she did it, like, which
Yeah.
is just, it's so hypocritical. But I guess it's like your college roommate becoming a rapper. Like, you're like never going to work out, but then when it works out, you'll be like, oh yeah, you know, he was my college roommate. Like,
Yeah.
it's just a thing, I guess.
Yeah.
My dad's him doing that. Like he had no idea what I was doing on Instagram. Recently, I was like, I've reached 100,000 on Instagram, and he was like, 100,000 likes, and I was like, no, followers. So he's like, why the hell 100,000 people watching you? You're so like, I can hear you in your room, and I was like, that's because I don't have a mic. Like, but yeah, what was happening? And now, like on the phone recently, he was like, oh no, my daughter is doing something on Instagram.
Oh.
Before that, he never said that. Okay, so I was just like, hey, listen. Damn rude that you were not with me, son. But like, I guess it is what it is.
Do you ever take a paper and pen and actually write what you want to say on camera? Yeah, you do that?
There's times I wake up in the middle of the night and I have a punchline and I just like type it down. And then I do that. I'm like, I don't want to lose this. Like, come on, Sakshi, you can do better. So I have like a lot of notes in my phone. I practiced it a bunch of times. Like earlier, the hand movements that I was doing were very natural. But now that I realize that people are observing it,
Yeah.
when I mean, I do it in like a take or whatever, but then I'm like, okay, no, you know what, this is looking too much, or like now I'm a little bit conscious about my hand movements also. So I was like, I sometimes I'll try to like not do it, but then my shoulders will start doing like and I'm like, no, it's fine, just move your hands.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there is a certain aspect of like planning it out or writing it down that it's actually pretty karna padta at types. I can't just, sometimes you can switch up a word just to make it funnier or like
Yeah.
shorter, like more relatable. Like, and content is more relatable when it's like really specific. And this I do now. Like in the beginning, so I was just like saying it and then like bouncing. But as I got more into it, then I was like, yeah, like be a little bit conscious in what I'm putting out, because now people can say stuff, people are noticing more stuff, so I'm just
Yeah.
like a bit more conscious about that.
And how much of your content is inspired by your real life?
So that's always a tricky question, because I would say all of this in my real life, even if I didn't have a platform. But it's at the same time like it's a joke. Like the boy I'm talking to doesn't really like. It's a character that I've made up. It's like I'm like a jilted person who the boy I'm talking to hates, and like he'll do all these things. But it's not like I'm like waking up in the morning and going like, oh my god, he didn't reply to me for 4 hours, that I tweet him on my Instagram. That's not something that I'm doing. But
Yeah.
if a guy doesn't reply to me for 3 hours, because sometimes boys don't do that, what would I say? Is
Yeah.
my thought. Guys do these things. And I'm not saying all guys do it. That was never something I said. It was just like
Yeah.
it was just like it was also a joke like between me and my friends, where we'd be like, oh, if a guy asks me to go on a break, I'll break his head or something like that. And it was just, no one's going to do that.
Yeah.
Like it's so, yeah, that's how it started. The rants about like relatable stuff, of course we all relate to, because it all happens.
Yeah.
So that is inspired by my real life. But like everyone's like, oh my god, she's not over her ex must be the most problematic. And my
Yeah.
ex and I are on good terms. He knows it's a character.
Yeah.
I know the character, but everyone else is like, poor guy. And I'm like, it's not a real guy. Like I could say the girl I'm talking to, but I'm straight, so I'm seeing the boy I'm talking to. So it's not like I'm hating on anyone. It's just a character that I've made up. And I mean, which is a fair clarification that I feel like I should have made earlier, because there were like people in my life asking me, oh, is your ex okay with this going up? And it's not like he actually did that. Like it wasn't, it's just a joke. And then now people are like beginning to understand, like, okay, cool, like it's just a joke, because how many boys is she talking to? Like, yeah, now people know that.
When did you feel like now my content is like really blowing up? People have started approaching me, brands have started approaching me. I've done something here and I'm getting some traction.
Still feeling like that, because sometimes a brand will approach me and I'll be like, have I done something? Like, I mean, how am I like on their radar at all, right? So I got my first paid brand deal at like well into it. I don't know what the mark was. I think like 30 to 50,000 K beach mein.
Okay.
And I was like, hey, can I actually, like, it was damn exciting for me. But I'm still like, okay, no, this is where the journey starts for me, right? If you're doing something as as a career, you want to be the best at it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I've done something, but I've not done what I want to do. Not even in terms of numbers, just like in terms of people that I want to work with, people, like content that I want to put out, increase my production quality, all of that. As accidental as it looks, at some point you can't be like, oh, she just puts on her camera and comes. At some point you'll be like, bro, you've been doing this for a year. Fix yourself. Like, go get your hair done. So I've only been doing this for like 6 months though,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm not being hard on myself. But yeah, I'm like, okay, cool. 2021 is going to be more fun, and 2022 is going to, like, I'm very excited for like things that I can do, but I'm just beginning to realize that ठीक है, like कुछ तो किया है, like.
Yeah. And have you started getting setting goals for yourself? Like 2021, I want to do these things. 2022, I want to do these things.
So at the beginning of 2020, after the entire supermodel of the year thing, I was like, okay, you know what? Let's sit down, let's write like a vision board. It's actually my phone now, wallpaper, so that every time I check my phone, like it's a reminder of things that I want to achieve. I know what I want to do I know what I'd be happy with accomplishing at the end of 2020. And then 2021, I'll revamp those goals, and it's more like work towards them sort of thing.
What are some of the pros and cons of being a content creator?
The pros of content creation are literally that it's your world, it's your platform. You get to decide what you're putting out there. I'm fully in charge of everything, right? At the same time, the cons are just that people think it's okay to have an opinion about every single thing that you're putting out there. With the pros, the cons are inevitable, because I can't be like, oh, but you have to agree with everything that I'm saying, because that's not fair. Sometimes it affects you, right? Because you're like, okay, but why are they so pressed about it? Like, let's have a conversation. You tell me what you thought was wrong. I'll give you like a comment back, and then like that's how I would go about it. But then people are like, you know what? I didn't like her content, so let's like be mean about it. Let's get violent about it. Which I'm just like, are what happened? Like, relax. Yeah. So I guess the cons. Every content creator, like I've heard it. Okay, like I've heard it a bunch of times where they're like, just be careful and just don't piss anyone off, which is not possible. Like everything that you put out, somebody is going to have an opinion about it. And a lot of people have these fake accounts where they think that, like, where they don't have any accountability, right? Like
Yeah.
they know who they are. So that gives you like a different kind of power where they think they can say anything and get away with it, which they will. What are you going to do about it, right? Like you can report it, they'll make another fake account. So I just leave it on there. But sometimes if you're going through the comments, you're just like, it's very overwhelming at times, though. Like both sides, like the love that you get, the support that you get, and the hate that you get, it's very overwhelming. And the hate obviously in a very negative way. So yeah, that would be literally the only con that I can think of, but it's big enough to like have a substantial backing. There's like 100 pros, there's one con, but that con is it's so stressful that it has like a good standing in terms of like a consideration on whether or not I'm willing to put myself out there. Like the hate gets all for sure. Like,
Yeah. How have you learned to process this hatred? Because I'm sure the way you think of hatred, the way you perceive hatred has changed a lot since you've become a content creator.
99.9% of the criticism is not constructive. Okay, it'll be like things that you literally have zero control over. It's not your content. It's just 100 different things, but it's not anything that you are doing wrong. And that 0.1% is criticism. It's constructive, and you can go through, if you have like a thick skin, go through all the comments. You see the one constructive thing, and you kind of implement it. If you don't have a thick skin, you ignore all the comments and just be like, it's fine. I'm not going through 99.9% of the comments to find like one thing that might be constructive. You always have your circle of friends and family that are honest with you, at least in my experience. again. So I'll just go back to them. But you literally have to think about it like these people are just talking. Like just let their thing. They think it's okay to say it. Let them say it. Don't let it affect you. Just think of all their comments as added up engagement for your account and just ignore it.
Yeah.
Because like literally nothing else you can do about it. I mean, you can switch off your comments, which a lot of people do, and respect them. Like I've seen like influencers that have been in the space for a long time just finally snap and switch off their comments and fully get it. Like if you've been doing it for a while, I'm sure like at some point it begins to affect you in a way that you're not able to handle anymore. I don't think what they're doing is wrong, and it's just like it differs from a content creator to content creator basis. So
What are your thoughts on the way people perceive content creation as a career? Because for some people, it's like, oh, it's so easy to become one. You just need a camera and you just need to shoot yourself or click photos of yourself, and you can go out there and create a blog. And for some people who are actually in that space, realize the hard work that it takes to really create that content.
every content creator that you see, I'm not even trying to like pat my own back, not doing that for real, but every content creator that you see, it's supposed to look effortless. So it does. If it does look effortless, then congratulations to all content creators. They're doing a great fucking job. But at the same time, like, so I had this thing where I was like, I'm not going to purchase any expensive equipment for content creation, because I want to see, like, in the sense that I want to be that girl with just the phone and sitting on her floor in her ghar ka kapda and like just put out raw content without any great investment, because this is something that you want to do it. Zero excuses. All it requires is your time, dedication, and like your skill, what you want to put out there. Like this is something that you can, if you want to do it, you can do like a day job and then do this in the evening. Like it's all of that. It is a full-time job, not going to lie, but there are literally no excuses. I think that if somebody wants to do it, they should go ahead and do it. It's frustrating because you don't get the traction that you want, but then at some point when you hit that break point, it's just like consistency. And at least with Instagram, I've realized, just post every day. Please put out good content. Just you got to be consistent. Like I wouldn't follow someone that's just like AWOL for like a week and then puts like one post, which is like, it's easy in the way that it doesn't require a specific qualification or an investment to start out. And everybody has a smartphone. We're not, who are we kidding, right? So if people do it, like there's no excuses. It does require time, dedication, and a thick skin. Apart from that, like I actually to date have not purchased anything specifically for content creation. I'm trying to see how I can, like, I will be purchasing all of that soon. But like I'm the example of, like, you need smartphone, you need a window, so light comes,
Yeah.
film it, and that's all you need to do. And you need your ideas, and that's all I bark about, if you ask me about like, what it takes.
Yeah, right. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna shift gears a little bit. A lot of your content revolves around dating. How do you think millennial dating has changed over the years, or how do you think dating apps have changed dating?
So there is like the entire casual element of it, which is there are the same amount of people looking for something casual or looking for a relationship or whatever. But I feel like people have become a lot more honest about it, which is kind of cool, because like if somebody wants something casual and somebody else wants something serious, they're not going to waste each other's time. Like I mean, it still happens, but it's like minimized to a very large extent. And I feel like it's a pretty filtering process, right? Like it sounds very mechanical, and everybody wants that little meet cute where you
Yeah.
see some coffee shop. But at the same time, it's like you also want to be able to put your best foot forward, right? Like put like pictures of you, show yourself in a light that you like. And then I actually like dating apps. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion actually, but I think that it's just I think it's really cool how everyone's like, okay, we need someone, we want to find something, there is a service that's helping us find it, so why not? Like that's my way of looking at it.
I am in big big favor of using dating apps. I feel like you meet so many people you wouldn't otherwise in your friend circle or in your office. I'm a big Bumble advocate.
I think Bumble, Hinge, Tinder, all of them have done something. I think it's really cool, okay? Like dating apps, it's just a lot of fun, I feel. And at the same time, you're talking to like people and then you filter out, a few and then they shift from dating apps to Instagram and then
Yeah.
Instagram filter out, okay, comes to WhatsApp. And then
Yeah.
you end up talking to enough people that you know what you want and what you don't want. And
Mhm.
I think that's cool because how would you know? Like your soulmate is not going to be 2 kilometers from your house. Let's be real. There's like 7 billion people in the world. Why not at least expand your horizons and figure out what you want and what you don't want?
Yeah, no, I'd be really upset if my soulmate was like 2 blocks
Like
away. What was I doing? You were right here.
yeah, dude, exactly. Like also that's never going to happen, right? I just find that damn like I'm just like, okay, yeah, people have found it, okay, like people are like dating their neighbors since like 700 years or whatever, but my thing is like you need to know people, you need to figure out what you want, what you don't want. I don't like an entire like scarcity mentality thing where people are like, nahi yaar, 3 years I've wasted with him now, even though we have these problems, kisi aur ke saath bhi these problems will be there. I'm like, nahi, like
Yeah.
there are so many. You'll find your vibe, you'll figure out what you want, and there's literally nothing wrong with being alone. Also, you should be able to be alone, and you should be able to just go out on casual dates if you want to. If you want a relationship, nah, whatever. No, I'm kidding. Fine also. But yeah, like I mean, I feel like everybody should swipe a little, figure out what
Yeah.
they want, and
Yeah, on Bumble, I like the fact that I make the first move. So, I mean, I don't have any creepy guy just like sending me a weird message on like Hinge.
honestly, I have like different things I like about all dating apps. Okay, like Bumble, I really like that entire thing. Where they put their like whether they're outgoing, whether they work out,
Yeah.
whether they all of that. I really like that aspect of Bumble and the fact that I can make the first move. Then Hinge, I really like that. I want to make the first move, but I don't really want to, so I just like their picture and then
Yeah.
I'll wait for them respond and stuff. And then Tinder is just like the entire swiping aspect, and
Mm-hmm.
like Tinder can meet a lot of people, and the like super like option and all that.
Yeah.
Tinder is the entire swiping thing. So
Yeah.
like I so that's like literally you can get whatever you want, and like the entire convenience aspect is like so I genuinely like all of those things. Like really use all the dating apps. So yeah.
For me, Tinder is like big bazaar. सब मिलेगा वहाँ पे. For like gourmet or like food hall, like then I'll go on like Bumble or Hinge.
Yeah, that's the way you think.
But like you said on Bumble, we are making the first move and you're looking for something on the profile that's fun, that's interesting. Are there any weird bios that you remember?
Not, I don't remember the weird ones, but I remember the really common ones that everybody uses, and they think they're so unique and so funny. And I remember, how do you spend your ideal Sunday, which is like brunching back to life or something like
Yeah.
that. A lot of people do that, and then like nightclub or Netflix, and then it's like Netflix, then nightclub, then Netflix
Yes.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it. Everybody's saying it. Like it's not like an innovative thing. Just I remember those, and I'm like, plus I'll introduce you to my friends if you can roll a better joint than
Oh
me. Like
God.
okay, like weird flex, but sure. A lot of people do that, so I'll be like, oh no, I don't vibe with that. Like I'm just like, okay, we get
Yeah.
it.
A lot of people also write, I love Friends or I love The Office. If you don't like Friends, just swipe left.
I like The Office, but I still swipe left because you think that's like a real part of your personality. So I don't need that. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Like how you can like a show and you can vibe with someone who doesn't like the same
Yeah.
show. It doesn't say anything about the person as a
Mhm.
person. ठीक है, I'll swipe left.
So this is what makes you swipe left. What are the things that make you swipe right?
So for me, it's really important that the person that I'm talking to works out. It's not even like I want to date like guys with like 6-pack abs, 8-pack abs. That's not it. It's just that there's a general discipline that I like to follow in terms of what I'm like, where we're going. Like, if you're dating someone that doesn't work out at all, they're fine with doing McDonald's for breakfast and Domino's for dinner. But I can't do that on most days. So I'm just like, if somebody else has the gym as a regular part of their routine, that'll be important to me. Dogs are always cute. I know that's like a stereotypical, like, oh my god, you have a dog, but like, yeah, that's cute. Apart from that, like, just like a funny answer. Like, I love the two truths and a lie thing where like people will be like, that's always a fun guessing game for me. I enjoy the so yeah, that is swipe right on if those are exciting. And
I always feel like a loser when I'm reading those true truths and a lie because they always have such adventurous stuff and they've done so many of these things and I haven't done any of that. So I feel like I feel like a loser when I read that.
oh god, the two truths and a lie. I swear I've never been able to figure out an answer for that. If I'm making the app, like if I'm making the bio, because I'm like literally nothing is like, I mean, there's literally nothing that I've done for it to be like cool enough, like you said,
Yeah.
right? Like avoid that question.
What would be on your dating app bio?
I'm one of those people that really doesn't give too much information, okay? Like, but I'll pick a few questions and then I'll find like a funny answer to those questions. Or like sometimes I'll do something like super cringe on purpose, which is like, what show is your favorite show or something? And I'll be like Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma or something. And I just see like I just want to see if people are going to find that funny or if people are going to be like, oh god, she's cringe, I don't like her and stuff. And then when we get to talking, people will be like, do you actually like Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma? I'm like, no, that's a joke. And they were like, there was no indication that it was a joke, I don't get you. I'm like, yeah, it was an inside joke with myself, I'm sorry. Like, but yeah, that's something that I do, which is not a good thing, but I enjoy doing these little jokes with myself. So yeah.
I just unmatch that person. Like if they're being too argumentative, I'm just like unmatch. I don't want to waste my time.
I just leave them on there, and like sometimes there'll be that one. Like, I actually got into an argument with someone on a dating app because, okay, I feel like I should say his name. It's not like he's gonna remember this, or if he does, then hi Afan, I'm sorry. There's this dude Afan, okay, like,
Yeah.
and so my friend and I both matched with him, and we sent him the, hey, you seem like a fun guy, like a fun guy, but
Yeah.
and we were just like, we hope he gets this joke, we hope he gets this joke. He responds to both of us saying like, okay, let's just go on a date, okay? And we were just like, okay, like, and then I didn't respond to that, okay, because I was like, don't think he got the joke. I like
Yeah.
it was in my head, but apparently he didn't get it, but which is fine. And then he like hit me up a couple more times. I wasn't that active on dating apps. Like, you forget to
Yeah.
respond sometimes.
Yeah.
Then he sent like this really strong worded message about how I shouldn't be wasting anyone's time and I should just go out on a date with him, and no one will ever treat me the way that he treats me and stuff. And I was just like, listen, you're coming off as too aggressive. I'm not going to meet you in real life if you're already aggressive on a dating app. I don't owe you anything. And then he was like,
Yeah.
you may not do anything, but you do owe me a response. And I was like,
No, I don't.
response. That's not how this works, Afan. But yeah, so like that happened. So I gave him a piece of my mind. But yeah.
Do you
So
have any go-to pickup lines like you like to use?
no, not really. I always pick up something from their bio and then I'll like joke about, or like from their profile, and I'll like respond to that because I just think that's a little bit more personal. And for I don't know about other girls, but on dating apps, it just works that way, right? Like, girls have more of a choosing option.
Yeah.
Like, because of the disparity in number in like girls to guys ratio, girls have more of the choosing thing, right? So I'll match with people that I genuinely want to talk to, and then usme also I'll filter out, and then the people that I feel like, okay, this could be going somewhere, then I'll use like a really nice pickup line on them, and which will be like from their bio, and I send them like a personal pickup line, and I'll be like,
Yeah. Yeah, even I do that. Like I look for something in their bio, but you know how on Bumble sometimes you only have 24 hours to respond. And sometimes I'd be at work and you get a notification saying that you only have an hour left to respond to your match. So like I do have some like pickup lines that I'll just like copy. Shit, I shouldn't be saying this. I just like copy paste and send it to all of my matches like fatafat fatafat. I don't have a lot of time. I'm at work. I have to be very quick. So that's what I do. Like I have like I like your shoes, and they'd be like which one, or you don't see them in my picture, and I'd be like you can't see them right now, but they look very good stepping into my life. And
Oh, damn, a Molika coming in hot. I like that. But yeah, so like it's a lot of fun if you treat it like a game, no?
yeah,
There's no, I mean, no one's coy anymore. No one has
yeah,
to be shy. Like
yeah,
my favorite, honestly, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but like I remember there was this one guy who was like an aspiring actor or something. So I was like, are you Ritik Roshan? Because are you Ritik Roshan's finger? Because you're like an 11 on 10. And he was just like, that is pathetic. You never use that again. But hi. And I was just like, okay.
some people do not like dating apps at all. They very against it, or they've been on it and they didn't like it. Why do you think dating apps still get that hatred from our generation?
Dude, honestly, I feel like it's just the meet cute aspect on a stage. Oh, but I don't know him. Oh, but I'm not that desperate or whatever, which is just dumb. Like, I mean, we're all so busy. It's like saying I'm not going to use Uber because I'd rather stand for like 30 minutes and hail a cab, right? Like,
Yeah.
just be more efficient, I feel. But yeah, I feel like honestly, I couldn't really tell you what it is actually, except like what my friends tell me is like, oh, but I'm not looking for anything. If it happens, it happens, which is fair. But I'm like, just because you're on a dating app doesn't really mean that you're looking for something also, right? You could just
Yeah.
sometimes someone to like talk to or like swipe on, or it's, I mean, I don't know. I to think that everyone should try out dating apps. Like,
Okay, before signing off, I'm gonna ask you two more questions. All right. First is, what's your current fixation?
and Twitter would actually be an accurate answer for this because I've started typing out my ideas on Twitter, and then like if something like people like it on Twitter, then I'll rant about it. Twitter also, I'm looking at my own tweets, and like I'm putting out content there, so I'm just like, it's not even like I'm reading other people's tweets and getting excited, but like definitely I feel like that's a very I feel like that's a very me answer to say that I'm obsessed. Like my current fixation is Twitter, is Instagram, but like it genuinely is like
Do you think
that would.
Twitter can be used as a content creation platform? How Instagram is? Do you think people can do it on Twitter?
Yeah, definitely. Like I feel like Twitter, there's no etiquette to post, okay? Like Instagram, you cannot post more than like once a day on your feed and like more on reels. Like people, even stories, sometimes you see someone with 20 stories and you're like, just no one cares. Like only you are looking at your stories. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, not true. Like I put out stories, but like I feel like you can't post that much on Instagram. But Twitter, there's no such thing. Like Twitter, you can post like 40 times a day and people will be like, yeah, she posts a lot, but that's fine. So I feel like Twitter can be like a more shit posty like type of thing. Instagram is a little bit more like you have to think about aesthetics a little bit. You have to think about like, and I don't know, but with like Instagram, you have like, you don't want to follow someone whose content you don't like. Like on Twitter, if you're following someone, I don't think I would unfollow someone on Twitter because like I don't like one thing that they tweeted. But Instagram, people see the following to follower ratio a lot. So
Yeah.
they like follow you on Instagram as compared to like other platforms, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. And if there is one rumor you could spread about yourself, what would it be?
This is like full possibilities, no? I feel like I would. This is gonna sound damn like bad, okay? But I want to make everyone feel really bad for mocking my voice. So I would like spread something like, this is like, I went through something and then like it got, it got messed up, and now all of you guys should feel very bad for making fun of my voice because it was traumatic. My voice was normal once, and then like I don't know, I got slapped in the throat or something, and my voice got fucked up. Feel bad about it, but there was no such thing. I was just born like that. But yeah, I feel like something dumb like that is what I would like to spread.
You can find us on Instagram at She Ready Podcast. I post a lot of behind the scenes stuff, bloopers, and sometimes fun memes. You can email me at shereadypodcast@gmail.com. Please rate and review, and if you do like my content, please subscribe. Thank you for tuning in and see you next week.